Advanced Care Directive is on my refrigerator, along with some other important medical information in case anybody has to come and drag me out of the house. Anyway, today we have a very important subject. My care, my plan, speak up, Sonoma County. And we have two members of the steering committee of that organization here with us, Brian Arendt of Homeland Hospice and Dr. Margaret Marquez, who is a physician at Kaiser. I present them to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here. So I've been with the steering committee since 2014. Are we ready for the slide? In the front. There we go. There we go. Okay. So I am part of the Sonoma County Steering Committee for My Care, My Plan, Speak Up Sonoma County, and we are a county initiative to increase awareness of advanced healthcare directives in Sonoma County. You'll see on your table there are postcard-sized papers with Wile E. Coyote with a very important message. There are some advanced directives and some information on advanced healthcare directives on your table. There's plenty of postcards. The others, there's not quite enough for everybody, so you may need to share. But our dear friend Wiley is teaching gravity lessons. And down at the bottom it says, planning ahead, it always seems too early until it's too late. Right? So we can teach classes on gravity, and then when we're actually in the midst of the fall, we realize that you're never quite prepared without a parachute, right? The idea that we're going to be speaking on today is that we need to be more prepared. We need to be aware of advanced healthcare directives and why they're important, their value to us as individuals and as a community, and we'll also talk about how you can get involved. Oh, I'm going to turn this on. There we go. So, My Care, My Plan is a part of the Coalition for Compassionate Care of California. We are also supported by the county and part of CHI, which is Coalition for Healthcare Improvement in Sonoma County. What happened was a few years ago, Sonoma County made a decision that they wanted to have a healthier community. And so there are a number of initiatives that are across the entire spectrum of ages to try and increase the quality of life that we have here in Sonoma County. They've done some incredible things. They're actually meeting right now, so that's why some of them are not here today meeting with us. But the idea was that one of the main things we want to do is increase the quality of life for our seniors. And so since I would say probably 2012, we've been working on a couple of initiatives and projects, and again in 2014 we started the steering committee to increase advanced healthcare directives in our community. There's a town called, I believe it's La Crosse in Wisconsin, and approximately 90-95% of those over 18 in that community have an advanced healthcare directive. It's normalized. It's a part of the daily life. It's part of the conversation. I don't think that you get your diploma and your advanced healthcare directive when you graduate high school. It may not be quite that serious, but they do increase the quality of life of your community by having everyone express their wishes. Woody Allen said, I'm not afraid of death. I just don't want to be there when it happens. And that's the mentality of a lot of Americans, is that we don't want to talk about it in public. We don't want to give weight to the idea that our end-of-life care is important to us. In fact, there's a statistic that says that 82% of Americans believe that talking about our advanced health care decisions are important, and 23% have actually done something about it. So, what is My Care, My Plan? My Care, My Plan, Speak Up Sonoma County is an advanced healthcare planning community initiative. It aims to encourage everyone 18 and over to contemplate, communicate, and document their healthcare wishes. Our initiative is a project of health action, a collaborative community effort to get citizens involved in creating healthier Sonoma County. Work to link organizations and individuals to raise awareness about the importance of advanced care planning. And what is our vision? It's funny, we spent months talking about our vision and refining and changing a word and flipping things around to get to this very simple three statements. But our vision, every Sonoma County adult is educated and empowered to express his or her wishes about end-of-life care. Has expressed those wishes to his or her loved ones and medical provider, and experiences those wishes being honored for receiving the care they want. What if you got everything you wanted?
Yay!
That's exactly the response we should have, right? We should all be excited. You're going to get everything you want. How many people actually experience that? In life. Not just in end of life, but just in life in general. Right? We don't get everything we want because life isn't about a script. It's not about how we're going to do these 10 things and then we're going to meet all of our goals because somebody else has 10 goals that don't meet yours and suddenly you're not in alignment. The idea that we're trying to do here is to help us feel comfortable about talking. Now, some of you may not be comfortable coming up here and talking in public. That's not what I'm talking about. I would hope that everyone here is comfortable telling someone they love what they want. It might be fun to try that experiment sometime. I loved doing that when I was a youth pastor. I'd go to kids and I'd say, "What do you want?" And they'd look at me kind of funny, and some would say, "I want a Snickers bar." That's really easy. And then some kids would say, "I want to be president of the United States." And then we'd have a long conversation about their goals and dreams and how they're going to meet them. But if you ask just a simple question, it's amazing what kind of incredible answers you'll get. And so when you have loved ones that care about you and about your life choices, and you ask them and you tell them about how you feel about end of life, it can be really scary. Because we're giving weight to the idea that we may not live forever. But it also changes us. It gives us the opportunity to feel comfortable, to have hope that everything we want in life may turn out okay, even at the end of life. What I'd like to do now is introduce Dr. Marquez, because that's really why you're here. I'm just introducing her, because everyone wants to listen to the doctor talk, right? Dr. Marquez is an incredible part of our steering committee. She has been born and raised in California. She studied and worked at University of California at Davis Medical Center, and is board certified in internal medicine, geriatrics, and now hospice and palliative care. And I'm honored to have her be with us this morning to share about what is an advance directive and why it's important. If you want to follow along, again, it is on the back of your poster. So Dr. Marquez, thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for that introduction, Brian. Let me make sure. Can everyone hear me? Okay. So, as I was introduced, my name is Dr. Margaret Marquez. I've been at Kaiser, Santa Rosa since 2006. I've actually been teaching the Advanced Healthcare Directive course along with a wonderful partner, a lawyer and trust attorney in town, Janice Sternfeld, and we've been doing that since 2009. And it's a community service. It's open to the entire public. It's not only limited to Kaiser members, and so what often happens is we may have a Kaiser member who brings along a neighbor or is driven over by their daughter who might not be a Kaiser member, but all are welcome and it's free. And I apologize, I did not get the flyers for 2017 courses, but I can tell you, I just wrote it down. Checking my October 18th is our next Advanced Healthcare Directive class. And the easiest way, we ask that you register just so that we have enough seats in the room. And the easiest way to get into the course is to call our health ed department, which I don't have that number memorized, but I do have our operator memorized. That's 393-4000, 393-4000. So that's just a little plug for community service that Kaiser offers, the Advanced Healthcare Directive course. Through My Care, My Plan, we also offer courses, and we can custom and tailor them to your needs. And we can make them as long or as short as you need, depending on the attention span, the length of the meeting. So another viable option where we come to you is My Care, My Plan, and we will come and talk to your residents or your club committee members or whomever about advanced healthcare directives. So my task this morning is to briefly describe what an advanced healthcare directive is and why it's important. So the simplest answer of what is an advanced healthcare directive is it's a legal document that names who will speak for you if you're incapacitated. So that person is named a healthcare agent. The old nomenclature, the old name was durable power of attorney for healthcare, but as many of you know, that would get confused with durable power of attorney for finances, and people would think, oh, well, I have my durable power of attorney, so I don't need an advance directive, when in fact, yes, you do have a durable power of attorney for finances, so we know where the boat goes if you ever pass away. But who speaks for you if you are incapacitated? So why is that important? So I love the Wile E. Coyote postcard that Brian actually came up with. He brought that to our steering committee. And I love it because you cannot plan for the what ifs. But you can start conversations and do some pre-planning. And the advance directive lets you do that. The beauty of an advance directive isn't just writing down who your messenger is. What I say in my class is simply, you're the king or queen. You are completing this document. Who's your messenger? Because if you're incapacitated, who is speaking on your behalf? That messenger is only as good as the conversations you've had with them. They're only as good as their ability to put maybe their personal beliefs or wants and desires for your healthcare to the side and truly speak the words that you would speak if you could speak for yourself. So, for example, they may not want to allow nature to take its course if you have end-stage Alzheimer's and you're bedbound and you are no longer able to eat and swallow safely. And every time you try to eat, it goes down the wrong tube and you aspirate and you're having repeated hospitalizations with aspiration pneumonia. They may not want to let nature take its course, but you may have been very clear with them and said, you know, if I get to that point and I don't recognize anyone and I can't swallow and I can't get out of bed and I can't toilet myself, then maybe don't take me back to the hospital. Maybe put me on hospice care. This just is happening over and over again. And have the priest come by, have the rabbi come by. But let's just let nature take its course and let me stay at home. Because I don't want to die in a hospital, right? So those are the types of conversations that how would the agent know that unless you talk to them about it? There's no way they would know that. So their assumption, the American assumption, is do everything for everyone always. And that's a good approach until it's not. So if you want anything less than everything every time, you need to explain to your agent what's the limiting factor. How do you define quality of life? What is important to you? Is it important that you're able to communicate with family? Is it important that you're able to go out and play golf? Is it important that you're able to, if you're physically unable to get up and about, that you're able to get out and about in your wheelchair as long as your family can get you where you need to go? How do you define quality of life? Those are the mantras that will help guide your agent if they're ever faced with making medical decisions. And I think it's interesting because for My Care, My Plan, we say that everyone over the age of 18 should have an advanced healthcare directive. And yet here I am talking at the section of aging. And that's because everyone over the age of 18 can get in a car accident, can get in a bus accident, a boating accident, right? They're adults. So when I sent my daughter off to college, we had a conversation about, first, safety. That was number one. Second was voting, because I needed to make sure she was registered to vote in the upcoming election. Third, getting off of her teen account for the bank account, she needed to have an adult account and be responsible for that with her own credit card and all the responsibilities that come with that. And fourth, there was lots more, but fourth was, who do you want making decisions for you just in case something happened, and she's like, oh, Dad, Mom, you'd be a wreck. No way, Mom, you could not handle it. I'm like, you know what I do for a living, right? That's wrong. Seriously, Dad, it's Dad. I'm like, okay, we got it. So we had just a very brief conversation. Now, I will admit we haven't done anything in writing. It's absolutely true. But it's on my list of to-dos with her. It's a lot as you're sending them off to college. The list is huge of all these things that, oh my gosh, I need to do this. But I really do practice what I preach, and I really do believe that all of us get in our car every day. Well, if you're in California, most of us do. And we buckle our seatbelt, and we don't buckle it because we think we're going to get in an accident on the way to work. We buckle it just in case. And that's why you have the advance directive. You name your agent just in case, but more importantly, you have a conversation with your agent. And so if you're 52 and you're telling your husband, I'm going to fill out an advance directive, and he's looking at you like you're crazy, and you're like, just in case, honey, and I don't want to talk about this. It's like, well, we need to talk because I want you to be my agent. Well, I don't want to talk about this. Well, if it keeps going around and around and you're in there 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, maybe you don't want your agent to be your spouse, even though you adore them and love them. Maybe they're just telling you they don't really want that job. So maybe you pick your sister, or maybe you pick your mother, or maybe you pick your best friend. It doesn't need to be a family member. It doesn't need to be someone who's physically in proximity. They don't have to live in the same county or the same town. As long as we can get a hold of them by phone, by text, as long as we can get a hold of this person to make medical decisions on your behalf if you're incapacitated, that is good enough. And I used to joke that, well, if they're on an oil rig, right, pre-cell phones, we're not going to be able to get a hold of that person, so don't pick your son who works on an oil rig 8 months a year, because that's not a good agent for you, because they might not be available. Now everybody has a cell phone, so it's few and far between the people that we can't get a hold of. So the person needs to be someone who can get a hold of, someone who you are comfortable talking to and who is comfortable having conversations with you about medical what-ifs, medical emergencies, and someone who wouldn't fall apart, who wouldn't just crumble under the stress and pressure of seeing you sick, of seeing you gravely injured, of seeing you debilitated. It's got to be somebody who can, in a time of very stressful circumstances, keep a clear head and be able to have conversations with your treating physicians. That's who should be your agent, not necessarily your firstborn male. So I'm going to open it up for questions. Is that time for questions, or do we want to do the video
cover
first?
The why it's important.
Okay. So we'll do the statistics.
Yeah.
So 82% of us agree advanced healthcare directives are important, but only 23% of us have them. 50% of us will become unable to speak for ourselves in a future medical situation. 50% will be incapacitated of some form. It may be temporary, but 50% of us will. Advanced healthcare directives give us the power now to speak for ourselves in the future. So as much as you can try to write down in the advanced directives, Kaiser has one and puts them on the back table. My Care, My Plan has some. You can get advanced directives online. There's no one form that's perfect. It's important to try to cover the medical what-ifs, but quite honestly, you can't cover them all. But what you can do is have conversations. You can talk about what's happening in the news and say, well, gosh, if that happened to me. I just taught the advanced healthcare directive class with Janice yesterday, and somebody brought up the Whitney Houston's daughter. I can't remember. It's not Bobby Brown. That was the father. Bobby Christina Brown. And they talked about her and her brain death and the family making decisions and postponing decisions. So those are great opportunities. As unfortunate as the stories are, they're great opportunities to then bring it up and have a conversation with someone who is your agent or someone who you're thinking about having as an agent, just to feel them out and see if they're comfortable making these sorts of decisions. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and show a video, I guess, and then we'll do questions if we have time.
2-minute video. There, come over here where the camera can see. There are 3 videos.
Sorry.
That's okay. There are 3 videos that are on our website that were done by KRCB, KCRB, what is it? KRCB, yeah. They're incredibly professionally done, and they are utilized by presentations to bring a personal touch to what we're talking about. So we're going to do a quick video.
I'm not sure how to get rid of that. Can you do it on your remote?
How long are the courses at Kaiser? Are they one evening or?
We offer them more or less every month, and it's 2 hours, because it's about an hour and a half to teach. And then we also will notarize the document at the end if you're ready to have it notarized. If you're not, that's fine. You can do it another time, or you can take it home and have your neighbors witness.
Do other Kaisers offer it, or is Sonoma County?
Yes, as far as I know now, we were the first to start because it was 2009 when we started. But as far as I know, all the Northern California Kaisers offer advanced healthcare directive classes, and it's through the health education department.
Thanks.
Did you say that was October 18th?
Yes, October 18th. And the phone number is 393-4000, 393-4000 for, you're just going to call the operator and ask for the health education department, and then they can get you registered. It's free.
And what time is it, please?
They change it. It's based on room availability, so even though I'm the one teaching it, I just go where I'm told. And Brian will tell you. I usually know my day the night before. 2 p.m. 2 to 4 o'clock on Tuesday, October 18th.
Thank you, Dr.
So we'll just watch this 2-minute video. There's a couple more slides, and we'll have time for more questions at the end.
Why is it important to have an advanced healthcare directive?
An advanced healthcare directive is important because you want to take care of the person who you love. And you want to make sure that their wishes are followed, that they've got it written down, and that you can take care of them in the way that they want you to take care of them.
An advanced healthcare directive helps to ensure that your healthcare wishes will be honored in the event you become unable to speak for yourself.
An advanced healthcare directive is important because it makes all the difference in the world in terms of the quality of and the life of yourself and of your loved ones.
It eliminates the uncertainty. It gives the family some sense of comfort.
Creo que es muy importante cuando una persona firma documentos oficiales sobre qué quiero hacer con mi vida, y creo que le ayuda no solamente a esa persona, pero también a todos los que están alrededor.
It is important to have at any stage of one's life, really, because at any moment, something dire can happen to you.
What I value about my life is expressed in the healthcare directive. And so this is your final opportunity to say, this is what I value. Rather than having other people impose their values on you, you can live out to the very end your own values. That's why I think you're all important.
To learn more about advanced care planning, visit mycaremyplansonoma.org.
If you notice in the video, we did have someone speaking in Spanish. They do have some resources in Spanish available. We're still working on some of those detailed translations. But the idea, again, is that we have a very diverse community, and we should be able to communicate an end-of-life desires regardless of language barriers. So, when the plan is unclear, as Dr. Marquez said a minute ago, the default is to treat aggressively. If there's no indications whatsoever of someone's personal wishes, they're going to do everything they can from the EMTs to the ER to being admitted in the hospital. And that patient wakes up a week later and says, I never wanted to be here in the first place. There have been quite a few celebrities of late that have had very public cases with a directive and without a directive. Joan Rivers and Casey Kasem being two very popular examples in recent past. So the last question is, how can you get involved? So again, it says it on your postcard, but how can you get involved? The first thing is to fill out an advance directive. You should feel comfortable being able to express and document your own wishes. Really, honestly, it starts with you having a conversation with yourself. What do I want? When do I want it? Why do I or don't I want particular types of care? And really, honestly, we can be sincere in saying that you may want everything done at 35, at 55, at 75 or 85, and at some point you decide, I'm okay with not having this done. Some people have asked us a question about the end of life, the Right to Die Act. We're not going to be talking about that too much today, but that is definitely taken a part in the conversation of end-of-life care. Hospice and palliative care, that plays a part. But this is our opportunity to speak with ourselves, make our decisions about what we want, and then share that with someone else. As Dr. Marquez said, there's lots of people that we can choose to be our agents. But if we make all these decisions and then hide in a drawer and no one knows about it, have we really made a decision? I asked my dad where his advance directive is, and he hates me telling the story, but that's okay because he's not here. I said, Dad, where's your advance directive? He said, it's none of your business. My mother rolled her eyes and said, they're in the bottom drawer of the cabinet. And Dad looked at her like, why are you telling him our private information? And he said, Dad, I'm not looking for your passwords to your social security, to your bank accounts. I just want to know what you want to do if I have to make decisions for you. It's like, oh, that, right. So, when we realize how normal it is to talk about end of life, it becomes a lot easier to have the conversation. So what else can you do? You can attend a free class. Dr. Marquez has given the Kaiser's example. We're still working on some of the opportunities through My Care, My Plan. We're welcome anyone inviting us to their location. But we plan on doing a quarterly class. We haven't gotten a location yet. So starting next year, we'll be doing a quarterly class on advanced directives. And there really are two types of classes. There's the what is it, and how do I fill one out? And you do both, right, in the same session. We can do either or. We can have a 1 hour what is it followed up by a workshop, or we can do them both at the same time as well. Okay? And the third one, host a free presentation for your clients. We're welcome to do any size. We prefer larger the better, but the idea is we want people to make the decision at a younger age. We've done it at senior centers, at assisted livings, skilled nursing facilities, and those are great. In fact, I had one where it was just one person. And so she and I sat down, had a lovely conversation about her and about her mother, and it was wonderful. But we also want to have a conversation with people who are able-bodied and able-minded and feel like they're going to live forever. Because as Dr. Marquez said, they may not. So if you have an employer group or an organization that meets regularly, would like to have a speaker, we'd love to do that as well. Have the conversation younger so that we're prepared when we get older. And the last thing you can do to get involved is to volunteer. Join us in empowering our community in reaching more people with advanced healthcare directive information. Now, all of this can be done through our website. It's on the bottom of your flyer there. The little postcard says the My Care, My Plan website. The videos, a lot of the information we've shared are on that website as well, and there is a contact us link in there. We'd love to hear from you, especially if you have a specific request you're looking for. So I think we have just a couple minutes left. We'd love to open the floor if you have any questions for us. Alexa?
Thank you guys so much for coming and talking to us about this today. I'm wondering, there's a visible difference, but what's the difference between the advanced directive and like a 5 wishes, the other form, the 5 wishes, that gets a little bit more specific with
They're both good. They're both good. So there's no specific form that's better than the other. The 5 wishes form is a little more touchy-feely, which is a good thing for people that are a little more touchy-feely. So what I mean by that is the 5 wishes will ask you if you're on your final days of life, do you have specific music you want? Do you have specific lotions that you want rubbed into your hands? Do you have specific poetry that you would like read to you? So that's a little more touchy-feely. That's very in-depth. At my age and my current health status, I haven't really thought about any of that yet. I just know who I want as my agent, and I know what I want and what I don't. So the 5 wishes is wonderful, but not for everyone. So that's why I say you can use Kaiser's form, you can use the 5 wishes form, you can just go online and Google Advanced Healthcare Directive, and there'll be a litany of free forms you can do. If you have a trust with your lawyer, they have an advanced directive in there. Oftentimes in the trust, though, it's very limited on the verbiage, so it's just naming your agent, and there may be a page about don't continue heroics if you're in a vegetative state or something to that degree, which is great, but it doesn't talk about all the other stuff. So as long as you've named your agent, kudos. So if you've got it in your trust, wonderful, but now go talk to your agent about what you want and what you don't want. And whatever form you want to use is fine.
Go ahead.
In the back.
Well, I was just going to say, too, in the handout packet, there's a values checklist, because there is a blending that you can do. So you can include this as an addendum within any of the forms that you use. California probate form here is a little bit more black and white. And this is really helpful. It includes some qualitative, more not quite educated, but qualitative, and provides information that gives your agent leeway, because they can't have black and white and predict some situations. So I just wanted to make sure you know that's something about.
Thank you. Yeah, up in here on the screen, there's a bunch of different ones. Again, Spanish, English. There is a low literacy English one. I want to say Stanford, did it? I think it's Stanford. It's got a lot of pictures, very simple questions. It doesn't matter. You could, in theory, you could write it down on a piece of paper, have it notarized, and as long as the agent signs it all, it's legally, and sit there, that would work just fine. Incorrect? I'm sorry, the witnesses. Sorry, the witnesses.
You either have it witnessed by 2 witnesses or a notary. And so that's my joke. It's great if you do an advance directive, but if your agent doesn't even know they've been named, because they literally don't need to sign the document, so you may have written their name in there 10 years ago, and you've never had a conversation. That's not particularly valuable at that point.
And as I said earlier, they can be updated. They should be updated as often as your life changes. Yvonne?
Thank you. Thank you for both being here. I have 3 observations I'd just like to share. The first one is that attorneys are charged to complete an advance directive, and most people are unaware of that. Attorneys charge $450 is what the charge is. So people need to be told that this is something they do not need an attorney for. That's a very specific thing. The second thing is I have gone into situations in hospitals where there are advance directives that are not being followed because there are 5 or 6 hospitalists, and all of them are unaware that there's a lack of communication on this, and so this really needs to be streamlined within the system, because while we're out here generating these documents, what's happening is they're not being followed at the hospital, but people are unaware of their existence, especially when someone's a Kaiser patient, but they go to another hospital first and they get transferred over because they have to go to the nearest hospital by ambulance. And my third point is the importance of training CNAs in assisted livings and in nursing homes, because they're often the ones that are transferring people to the hospital at night without their paperwork. So I really am seeing that people do have paperwork, but when they get to the hospital, they're put on a ventilator. We just had this happen in Napa. And they have a pulse and an advanced directive, and they were still on a ventilator, which then brings us to the question, who's going to take them off the ventilator? So, I'm saying it's a little complicated. It's getting a little complicated out there, so thank you.
Yeah. And the idea, as we get more and more into electronic medical records, I think Kaiser's working on it if they haven't already got it in the system. Sort of, go ahead.
So Kaiser's not perfect. I don't pretend that we are, but we scan the advance directive into our system. You're able to fill it out online and type it up, but you still need to print it in order to sign and have it witnessed, or sign and have it notarized. So we still need a paper copy, but then we do scan it in. And you're right, not everybody knows to look. We have new hospitalists all the time, but we've got it a little more standardized. The topic about pulse, I don't think we have time to talk about. That's very specific. If you don't want to ever be put on a ventilator, if you don't ever want CPR done, that's a different form, and that's not what the talk is today. It's very important, and oftentimes the advance directive segues into that, but because we're limited on time, I don't want to address that right now. I'm happy to take questions to the side later afterwards. Other questions?
Let's pretend I'm a typical male in our society. I don't do this paperwork because my wife will take care of it. What's the reality? Who does the physician accept direction from in these situations?
So that's going to be next of kin. So the order that we generally follow is spouse, divorced or not sometimes. It gets a little, are they legally separated? Are they not? That gets murky. And then adult children. And if there are no children, no spouse, then siblings or parents. So I guess depending on your age, it'd be spouse, or if you're 18, it'd be parents, right? So for those that don't, the problem is if you have specific wishes and we have a spouse and your adult son in the room and they're squabbling over what you want, the reality is, the default is we're going to do everything all the time. Because we're not sure, and you can't undo doing nothing. That is, I hope there's no English majors, because that's a double negative. And you can't undo doing nothing. And so our default in Western medicine and all physicians is do everything for everyone every time. And so until we're clear that you want something less than everything, we are doing everything.
Elise, yeah.
Since people's wishes often change over time, how often do you recommend updating this document?
What do you call it, the 6 Ds?
Well, yeah, it's the 5 Ds.
5 Ds.
So every decade, but the trust attorney will tell you every 2 years. Just take a peek every 2 years. Death, either death in the family or death of your agent. You want to update that. Divorce, because you might not want your spouse as your agent that you named in there. Decline in health. Decline in health. So if you have a new medical diagnosis or an old diagnosis that is progressed, that might be a good time to just take a look and make sure you've named the right people and that you've updated your wishes with them just verbally.
I had that slide and took it out in terms of time. I wish I'd kept it in. One more question? I thought I saw one more hand. Is there one more question? In the back.
It's not a question, but it was recommended to me that when this paperwork gets submitted, especially at Kaiser, that you put your ID, your member ID number up there, and make sure you don't put it so far up that when it's copied it doesn't show up. And it did make a difference. A relative was the first one there when my dad entered the hospital. I actually brought my paperwork with me because it was somewhat older, and it made a difference with how the doctor interacted with me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Take a note.
Something else? Okay. Thank you guys so much. We'll be here for a few more minutes afterwards if you have more questions.